always at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. A little bit of an issue there. But the 49ers get a huge win over the visiting Los Angeles Rams. Hope everyone is having a good day today. This is going to be a fun episode because the 49ers get a big win. I think that's exactly what they needed. What's up, Shooter? How's it going? Hope you're having it going. What's up, Jess, as well in chat? Hope everyone's enjoying this game that the 49ers just got the huge win against a division rival. And now they're first place in the NFC West, which I think is hugely important. So the Niners get it done. I'm excited about that. What's up, KNDR? How's it going? What's up, Ziggy? Welcome to chat as well. It was a great win for the 49ers, going ahead and holding the Los Angeles Rams to no touchdowns. The fact that they held them to no touchdowns is absolutely impressive. Sean McVay doesn't get shut out as far as touchdowns very often, but the 49ers get it done. They get the big win, and now it feels like the season's going in the right direction. Jeff Wilson Jr. with a huge touchdown run in the first quarter. That was very nice. And overall, Kyle Shanahan dialed it up, and Jimmy Garoppolo executed pretty good. He didn't turn over the football. I think that's a plus. That is really what we needed from Jimmy Garoppolo in this game. Matthew Stafford was the one that turned over the football. It wasn't Jimmy Garoppolo. And what's up, David? Mr. Corey, how's it going? Mr. Corey says Hufanga and my breakout defensive player, Ebukam. Ebukam had himself a really good game, including that strip sack at the end. So the 49ers, of course, are going to have some more question marks. Eric Armstead left the game again with the plantar fasciitis. Javon Kinlaw didn't play. So we're going to have question marks there. I was entirely wrong. Jordan Mason didn't carry the ball. And Troy Aikman says that Kyle Shanahan's worried about the other running backs being able to fill the role that he needs for this offense. That's not good for Jordan Mason. So I think all that stuff's going to be talked about this week. But overall, I just want to enjoy this game. Talanoa Hufanga with the big-time interception, the pick six. You need a big play. It doesn't get bigger than that. The 49ers safeties have had good games against Matthew Stafford, and Hufanga continues his absolute blitzkrieg through this league, proving to be one of the better players, one of the most instinctual players there is. And I think he's a gem, man. He really is. You worry about him coming into the season in coverage, but he's just excelled in every area of the game. It's been very nice. Does he have his misses? Of course, they all do. But you got to be hugely excited about that. Tayshaun Gibson with the missed interception. Fred Warner with the missed interception, or we could add even more. What's up, everyone that's filling up chat? Good to see you. This is going to be a fun one. Himfonga. Yeah, Himfonga. Like that, David Campbell. Ziggy says, got to pass to run. That's exactly how it worked. KNDR says 7 sacks is ridiculous. Yeah, you can't put out a makeshift offensive line. And I thought D'Amico Ryans needs to get tremendous amount of credit for the way he ran stunts to confuse the offensive lineman on the interior to be able to get Bosa home. The blitz where Deommodore Lenoir got home. Fred Warner, Trey Greenlaw blitzing as well. Fantastic. What's up, Spy Nick Danger? Welcome to chat. Yeah, and we got one from Jay Ellie. Exactly. That was huge. David Campbell's, this D is terrifying. They're a championship caliber defense. We're 3 games in, and this defense is the best defense in the NFL. And that is good news for the 49ers. That means Jimmy Garoppolo in this offense, they don't have to be nothing better than middle of the road. If they're middle of the road offense, this 49ers team can win football games this year. A championship caliber defense is what the 49ers are going to ride on all year. Now, they're going to have to fix the interior defensive line. Of course, Ridgeway and Givens are absolutely fantastic, but you're going to need some depth there because we don't know the status of Kinlaw. Armstead left the game. Could this be time for the 49ers to bring in a defensive lineman? I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't bring in a couple. And Ndamukong Suh being out there, I know I'm kind of pushing that a little bit, but it depends on how long Kinlaw and Armstead are going to be out. But the fact Armstead had to leave the game, maybe it was situational. They knew they were going to need pass rushers anyways, so they just decided to rest him. But it just leaves me a little bit of concern. But yeah, the defense is fantastic. I love it. Mr. Corey says Javon Kinlaw never plays. That is not true because Javon Kinlaw played the first 3 games, Mr. Corey. I can't get away with that. He plays some. I don't game like I used to. Says as soon as Jeff broke his run, I said Ant called it. First TD, Jeff Wilson Jr. breaks off a long run. Thank you so much. I love Jeff Wilson Jr. having a good game. I thought his vision was fantastic. He was cutting, getting his foot in the ground, getting upfield. It's been good. And you're right. I got lucky with the Jeff Wilson Jr. was going to score the first touchdown. I did think the 49ers were going to establish the run game, but he broke. And it was a nice run. It was a little short toss. And if you're on the breakdown on Patreon, we talked about how that was something they did. I might even talked about it in the game plan video. The little short tosses are something LSU did. And that gives the running back a two-way go. He can go inside or go outside. He went inside. Spencer Burford came across and blocked Bobby Wagner on the play. Burford had a couple of mistakes in this game, but there were moments like that where he looked fantastic. Like, okay. But it was nice having Daniel Brunskill. And I want to watch the film, but we did not absolutely stink with Jalen Moore at left tackle, which means he fixed some of the problems from last week. Of course, he's not going against Bradley Chubb or those guys, so it makes it a little bit easier. But, yeah, Colt McKivit's hurt too. 49ers definitely are hurting a little bit in the offensive line. It's nice to have Daniel Brunskill back, and he got some play in this game as well. What's up, Hugo? How's it going? Welcome to chat. We got all the heavy hitters in chat today, which is good. JLE says more holdings and 9 getting away from a few. Yeah, there could have been more. If you're right. The holding, they're getting away with holding. Really, both teams didn't really have that many holding calls. I think there was only the one that was on Brendel. Besides that, there's just no holding. That's not an emphasis for teams this year, or I mean for the referees. So far I haven't seen it. I felt like it was going both ways, pretty good. Referee crew was good, had no problems with the calls. I mean, you might feel like some of them are ticky-tack, but overall, it felt like they let the guys play. It was a nice flow to the football game. So overall, it was an exciting Monday night game. I really did enjoy it. Mr. Corey says, beating the Rams 24-9 without 5 starters, 6 if you can't Trey Lance, and losing 2 more during the game. It's dominant and it's talent, acquirement. The fact that John Lynch has helped acquire all these players, they have so much talent that they can now withstand those injuries. It was during the first part of the tenure of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they were acquiring talent, but they didn't have the depth behind them in case something happened. You're seeing that come in focus with the Rams. They don't have the depth behind. The 49ers do have that. And thank you so much, JLE, for re-upping your membership. I really, really appreciate that. Always big. And JLE says, keep putting in that work and enjoy the W. I will, JLE. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm going to keep working. We're going to have a lot of fun this week as the 49ers. We're going to be in celebration mode. The 49ers, we're going to be celebrating their win. It'll be some fun conversations during the week. And then, of course, we'll be getting ready for Carolina. Carolina just played Arizona. That'll make for a nice scouting report video. We can get into that with Carolina and how they did against Arizona. But thank you so much for re-upping your membership and taking advantage of that membership super chat. Really, really appreciate everything, JLE. WTM said that W felt good. Love it, WTM. It did. It felt fantastic. There were mistakes from both teams. This time, Reverend McLeod puts the ball on the ground. 49ers find it. That's different than last week in Denver. Robbie Gould misses the field goal. The defense comes up with a stop. It was just consistency from this defense. Every single time they needed to pick up an area of the football team, whether their special teams or offense, they did it. I thought overall that was fantastic. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo did a good job of playing within himself, taking what the defense gave him, and then the playmakers making plays. Deebo freaking Samuel is just an absolute menace in this league. That play, he made that catch to go up and get the football over the corner's head, and then he takes off. He jukes someone immediately. This is some Madden caliber stuff. He gets some good blocking downfield, so appreciate his teammates. George Kittle making a huge block. Then he breaks, and Ramsey has him and goes low, and he runs through his tackle. And Jalen Ramsey's no joke as a tackler in this league. Runs him over, establishes, hey, you're not going to stop me. And then Brandon Ayuk knocks over the linebacker at the goal line. Fantastic play. Deebo Samuel is tremendous, and he got it going with those tunnel screens, things outside. You want to put 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. You want to pack the box. Okay, these are the things that are open, and if we execute them, we have big play potential with our skill players, and they were able to take advantage of it. And also have to give credit to Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings early in this game was making key catches. Eventually, they were able to get everyone involved, but early on, it was Jawan that was making those plays. So good up to him for having a pretty good game. I know he had the drop, but he did a good job. And David Campbell says that Tebow touchdown should have been a pick, and he turns it into a spectacular catch and run. It could have been a pick. I think I want to say it that way, because when I initially watched it, I did think it should have been an interception too. But if you go back and look, because of where Jimmy threw it high, the defender would have only been able to tip it and get a hand on it. I'm not sure it would have been a pick six. Not exactly like the one he threw in Denver, but I mean, it was a risky throw, but Deebo Samuel makes plays. Deebo Samuel is tremendous. So, Mr. Corey says, Ant, did you see Banks pancake Donald? I did not see that, so I'm going to have to go back and watch. I think there's a lot of stuff I probably missed. I'm trying to watch as much as I can, but I didn't see that, so I'm looking forward to watching that. Donald had himself a pretty good game. But overall, I thought the 49ers did well against him. I mean, he's going to get his. You just have to kind of limit his impact. I thought they did a pretty good job. Shooter says the only bad call was when Kupp, one where he ran into Fred and Fred. Oh, there you go. Bingo, Shooter. You're right. I forgot about that one. He literally just physically ran right into Fred Warner, and they called illegal contact. So, yeah, you're right on that. Well said. And what's up, Marvin? How's it going? What's up, Uncle Rob? Welcome to chat. That was a good one, a fun win for the 49ers. JLE says defensive holding the Rams to field goals. Yeah, holding the Rams to field goals was huge. 3 field goals for the Rams. They just kept, the Rams had first and goal on 2 occasions, and the 49ers were able to slow them up and not allow them to get into the end zone. Those are huge plays. The 49ers almost had, 31 points in this game. Or I'm sorry, not 31, but yeah, 31 points in this game. Yeah, the Robbie Gould missed a field goal. George Kittle could have had a touchdown. They left plays on the field. It was a nice throw by Jimmy. I think we got to give Jimmy credit for that throw in the back of the end zone over defender to Kittle. Those are the throws you want him to make. Everyone wants Kyle Shanahan to trust Jimmy Garoppolo. 3rd and 1, and he trusts Jimmy Garoppolo to throw at the goal line. I think that is good news for their relationship moving forward. And Kittle was just a toe away from getting it in. What a great play from him. Jimmy Garoppolo with a nice throw. Marvin says Jimmy was excellent today. Hufanga's a monster. Marvin, you're right. And then Mr. Corey says, Ant, did you see Garoppolo miss my boys Warner? Yeah, he threw it over the wrong shoulder. He did. He should have led him inside. It could have been, he was looking for the safety, but he led it. And then Warner did a good job of flipping around and trying to adjust to make the catch. And then the ball, because he had to do that, was a little bit too far out in front. That would have been a big play. I think it was. I think, there was that stretch right there where Jimmy struggled, where he had like 3 straight incompletions. He missed Jawan Jennings up the seam as well. He had him, but he just airmailed him, and that could have been a first down too. So there were moments where Jimmy had some struggles, and then there were moments where he looked really good. But overall, it was a tremendously better performance than last week, and that's what I think you're hoping for, is those better performances. WTM says 6 sacks tonight. How excited are we about now excited are you about this non-healthy pass rush? The pass rushes looked pretty good. I'm excited about the pass rush. I want to see what happens when we what happens with Armstead and potentially not available, but I'm hoping to see these guys continue to get after it. I was excited to see them go. What's up, David Campbell? Thanks so much for the super chat. David says this defense will give the 49ers a chance to win every week. Thanks so much for the super chat, and you're right, David. It will give them a chance to win every single week because they are just lights out all over the place. Charvarius Ward and Emmanuel Mosley make it so much easier for everyone else. And Deommodore Lenoir, I know there was some talk last week, why is Lenoir starting over Sam Womack? I thought Lenoir did as good a job as you can going against Cooper Kupp. Now, Kupp got his, did not get in the end zone, which is huge. He got over 100 yards receiving. Cooper Kupp, success everywhere. But I thought overall Lenoir did a very good job. They executed their game plan the best they could. You can't take away a player like that. You're just trying to limit him. I wanted them to hold him to 75 yards. He ended up getting over 100. But Lenoir's playing well. And Allen Robinson couldn't do nothing against Mosley and Charvarius Ward. It is so nice having corners out there that, 1, don't commit very many penalties, and 2, make plays on the outside, tipping balls away. That play by Charvarius Ward on the fade to Allen Robinson, where he turns his head and at the last second knocks the ball away. Fantastic. So yeah, I absolutely love those plays for sure. Jay Ellie says Fred should have had that pick. You're right. He should have. He jumped it. He was right there, and he didn't get it done. Jay Ellie says, who had the final sack forced fumble on the second to last drive? That was Samson Ebukam. Ebukam got there. That was a great play. I was loving the way they pass rushed at the end of the game. They had Samson Ebukam, Nick Bosa, Drake Jackson, and Charles Omenihu as their NASCAR package. To me, that is something we can see moving forward, especially late in games. Get your athletic, fast edge rushers out there all together. That way, if a quarterback does scramble, things like that happen. Ebukam getting home in time. Stafford climbed the pocket, thinks he's going to be able to get the ball out. But just like that, Ebukam's got him, and the ball is loose. And, that's why you got to keep playing, too. Good ups to the 49ers for actually recovering it, because I saw them for a second. It looks like they were just going to let it bounce away, but they didn't. So that was nice. This, of course, is Garoppolo's best plays were his run on third down and him avoiding a sack in the fourth. Yeah, he did enough, right? I mean, that's what you want from Jimmy. Don't turn over the football, make enough plays, convert on third down. He threw for over 230 yards today. I think that is a good line for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what you're looking for. Run this offense. There's one play in the first quarter where Kyle had to use a timeout. They got out of the huddle late, and Jimmy came to the line and canned the play. Well, there wasn't enough time to get it off, and he looks to the sideline and he says, "Hey, Kyle, was that right?" He was wanting to know if it was the right play. And you know what they did? They canned the play and they ran the pitch to Jeff Wilson Jr. That is dialogue between Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan. That's getting them in the right play, depending on the defensive look. That is so important for this 49ers team moving forward. If Jimmy can get them in the right play, it's going to help things a lot. So that was huge. WTM says Jeff Wilson Jr. seems faster than Mitchell. Does he have the Mostert type speed? No. Jeff Wilson Jr. is not faster than Elijah Mitchell or Mostert, but he's quick enough to make things happen. And he looks more explosive this year than last year. He's definitely recovered from the meniscus. This is the Jeff Wilson Jr. I saw at training camp. This is why I was excited about Jeff Wilson Jr. That's why I knew he was going to be running back too, because this is exactly who I saw. So I think that's what the 49ers know and they saw, and that's what they're hoping they're going to get from Jeff Wilson Jr. the whole year. So what's up, Mike? How's it going? Welcome to chat. Mike says Niners D dropped 2 easy picks. They can get even better at it. Yeah, they can get even better for sure. They did drop some opportunities for interceptions. Tayshaun Gibson should have had a pick. Fred Warner should have had a pick. Dre Greenlaw almost came up with a pick. There were opportunities out there. Stafford gave the 49ers, the 49ers opportunities to make plays and interceptions. They weren't able to capitalize on all of them. I wish the Gibson one would have happened. That would have kept points off the board. So hopefully the Niners will just keep getting better. The good thing is they did get some where they got none in Denver, none bounced their way. This time plays went their way. Hufanga jumping that route was fantastic. Hugo says, honestly, I'm surprised D'Amico threw some blitz packages in there. You can do that when you have Mosley and Ward in there. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Last year when they blitzed, they would get beat. They could get burned by a mismatch. But when you have Mosley and you have Charvarius Ward, they can go out there and they can make plays, and you can feel confident in those situations. They've done a pretty good job. I've been excited about it overall. So yeah, those corners, and I mean that's why we did a video way back. The Charvarius Ward, we're talking about his effect and lockdown Ward, and people said, "Oh, he's not that kind of corner," but he is. He is that corner. What's up, traffic? Welcome to chat. Welcome. And Mr. Corey says, who recovered the Ebukam forced fumble? And I think it's Kerry Hyder. Not surprised when Kerry Hyder finds the football. WTM said, we have the Panthers Sunday. Do you see us holding the Panthers to field goals as well? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Baker Mayfield is on the brink of getting benched. There is some turmoil going on there with that roster. Their team has talent. DJ Moore, they have some ability, but they should have beat the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals defense as not, tremendous. They're average. And Carolina struggled to move the football against them. Carolina let Arizona hang around. I mean, of course, it's a trip to the East Coast. That's always makes things interesting. But I think the 49ers are a team that can hold the Panthers to no touchdowns. And right now, the Niners average of points, I don't even know what it's going to be after this, but they gave up their season average, which is 9 points. They gave up 9 points in this game. Ridiculous defense from the 49ers. I know there's going to be extra added pass yards added in because of the late game throws by Stafford, but overall, yardage aside, this 49ers defense just showed out in a big way. SL Million says, great game. Niners defense might be Hall of Fame worthy. They're definitely championship caliber. So that's good news. That means the 49ers have an opportunity to win every game they're in, like David Campbell super chatted about earlier. Every single matchup, you got to feel like the defense is good. It was funny because early in the game, as Stafford was driving, it was like, oh no, are we going to give up a touchdown early? And as the game went on, I felt like I got just more confidence in this defense. Like, oh no, we're about to get a stop. Oh, something's about to happen. They're about to make a play. And I think that's what's so nice about this defense. You just see it. Dre Greenlaw playing, in the middle at linebacker and then running the pitch to Cam Akers and him flying downhill, getting in his window and making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Those plays are just fantastic, and they add up. Fred Warner one-on-one with Cooper Kupp at the goal line and just locking him down on third down, and Stafford throwing it, errantly coverage. How many middle linebackers in this league can man up one-on-one with one of the best wide receivers in the league in Cooper Kupp and get a victory? Not very many. Those are special plays from Fred Warner. So, yeah, this defense has special players, a special defensive coordinator. Loving the way that they're playing right now. It's the real deal, just like Shooter said. Shooter said this defense is the real deal. Marvin Rose says Rams were unable to run the ball, so the defense forced Stafford to throw the ball. Yeah, there was no run lanes. Henderson, Akers, they tried to load up early in this game, go double tight, and try to pound the football. It wasn't there. The 49ers definitely did not have to worry about the run. I think that's part of the reason Armstead came out of the game. Now we'll see if his injury got worse or they just decided to limit his snaps. That's going to be something interesting. I'll listen to what Kyle has to say about that. But I thought that was very, very nice. Mr. Corey says, I love DJ Jones, but am I the only 49er fan that was glad the Broncos lost to the Raiders and I hate the Raiders? I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know. That game was all over the place. It was so weird seeing the Raiders capitalize on the turnovers the 49ers should have capitalized on. So that was kind of frustrating. SL Million says Talanoa Hufanga is the next Troy Polamalu. I know one thing. He's the first Talanoa Hufanga. And the first Talanoa Hufanga is pretty darn good. The question marks. That's the thing. When you're a college player and you come into the NFL, you're going to have question marks, things you need to work on, things you need to get better at. The question marks were never his instincts, which he always showed he had, his ability to tackle around the line of scrimmage and to make plays on the screen passes. If you go back and watch our early draft breakdowns, that's literally what I talk about. But what has gotten better is him in coverage. And all credit to him. Run fits and coverage are things he's gotten tremendously better at. You tip your hat. And you're like, you know what, young kid, way to get at it. So that's really nice. And what's up, Brad Jones? What's up, David V? Welcome to chat. I saw you guys' names in here. Always good to have you guys there. David Campbell says, I think Huff saw that play on film this week. Looked like he knew that play as well as the Rams did. Yeah, his recognition and understanding offensive concepts is so wonderful. That was something you saw from a guy like Richard Sherman. That's something they said Jason Verrett does very well. Fred Warner does it tremendously well. And I love that we're going to have another guy like Hufanga that can do that as well. Because when you're getting things barked out, pre-snap, it's Fred Warner, it's Talanoa Hufanga. Those guys are getting everyone put in the right places. The fact that those two have the best understanding of the offensive concepts is good news for us. And those instinctual plays like that, also Talanoa Hufanga in previous weeks, timing the snaps and coming on the backside, ignoring the quarterback on a boot and making the play in the backfield. Those are just his understanding of concepts and where he needs to be. Huge. So I absolutely love it. WTM says, Coach Ant, what grade do you give our offensive line tonight? I thought it was hit and miss. I thought that at moments they did a really good job of max protecting, of giving Jimmy Garoppolo time. I thought that sometimes they let Donald, get away from him. There was a couple busts here and there. So I want to break it down. I think if preliminary, I would probably give him like a C+, B- grade, like around there. I want to watch the film and just see, what happened. But I did see them make big plays. So for every miss, there was a huge play, like Burford getting to Wagner and, other opportunities where they just got a complete, really good pass rush. Or like Mr. Corey talked about Aaron Banks pancaking Donald. There were those plays involved. And they did run some whams, which I was excited about. I got to see Charlie Warner go inside and block defensive lineman on the interior. That's actually what sparked the huge touchdown. So I think that it was probably like a C+, B-, but it could always go up or down depending on what the film. I think that's okay when you have this many young guys and backups. But they were able to get it done. It was a well coached, well thought out game plan, and they knew what they were doing. Traffic says the last thing Baker needs right now is to play the 49ers defense. Almost feel bad for him. Almost. Yeah, Nick Bosa's already got the flag ready, right? He's got his flag that he's going to wave after the sacks. He's got his guys ready to ride. Yeah, this is not exactly what Baker Mayfield wants. The only thing good for him is it's not on prime time. Because last time it was on prime time, he got absolutely handled. JLE says, and they have Laviska Shenault. Watch out. Yeah, if they knew what to do with Laviska Shenault and DJ Moore, I might worry. But they have no idea what to do with them. And I think that they'll play him in the slot. They won't use him as much as they should. And Yelmer Lenore will lock him down. And Lenore's really good in run fits. He's good blitzing. And he's a solid tackler. So right now I'm pretty happy with Yelmer Lenore nickel. I think that's a good situation for the Niners. Of course, Bosa's going to do another flag plant. Yeah, so we're on the same page, Mr. Corey. Hugo G says Dre Greenlaw plays. Yeah, he plays with violence. He does. He plays with aggression, with a physicality. I love it. And he's also got a very intelligent mind as well. Michael Humphrey says, hey, Ant, finally I'm back for a few weeks. Coaching in the fall makes it hard to catch you live. It does. Welcome back, Michael. I hope coaching is going well. I hope you're really enjoying yourself. It's always a fun time. I haven't coached in a couple years now, so it's a little bit different. I went and caught a game last Friday, a high school game. And it brings back memories, but for whatever reason, I just don't feel like getting back into it right now. But I always love the people that do. I appreciate everyone that gives their time to help others, and coaching is one of those thankless jobs. So I want to say thank you to Michael for giving that effort. It's really, really important. JLE says 15 tackles for Greenlaw. Yeah, he's leading the team. He's fantastic, JLE. He's fantastic, and so glad they locked him up for a couple more years. That's nice. Greenlaw's earning himself some money, and I'm glad the Niners already got it done, or he would have got a huge contract and walked away. Now they would have got a draft pick, but I'd rather have Greenlaw and Fred Warner for a couple years. Mr. Corey says, I can't believe how much better Hufanga is than Tart. He's showing it. He's showing the 49ers knew what they were doing. And you know what? Gibson's played pretty well too. I got to give props to Gibson. As good as Hufanga's been, Gibson's been pretty good too as his running mate. And we got Jimmy Ward and Jason Verrett's practice window that could open next week. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. SG, what's up? Says, I love your use check jersey. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Golden Dragon says 44 stands for Brock. It's just Kyle Juszczyk or, touchdown Tommy Vardell or Tom Rathman, pretty much any of them. So, yeah. Can everyone still see me? I think it might have froze. I don't know what happened there, but I'm still talking, so I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. But I'm just gonna keep going. Mike says, is Jimmy Ward back this week? We should do when he comes back. Gibson's been playing great. Yeah, I agree. He has been playing great. Let me see. Okay, we got Robert Davis in the house. Says, Ramelia Sports Report gave Niners props on podcast. Good sports. Yeah, good job. And what's up, P. Murr? How's it going? Hope you're doing well as you join chat. It's a good one. Thanks, JLE. I appreciate that. It froze on my end. That's why I was asking. But yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Well, that's good, Robert Davis. Always good when you got the guys that give credit. I really, really appreciate when let's be honest. Even though we're rivals with the Rams, you gotta love the fact that fans can be fans and all that. So, but yeah, I saw this. JLE says Panthers, Falcons, then Chiefs. And I like that you said chefs. I hope you did that on purpose, actually, JLE. Panthers and Falcons are winnable games. Now the Falcons are playing better this year than they've played in the past. So they're maybe turning around. Their offense is a little bit more dynamic, but we have that great defense. 49ers are going to have opportunities to win those two games, and then they got a showdown with the Chiefs on October 23rd. That's going to be a nice matchup. I'm looking forward to that. Mr. Course says they're going to have to re-sign Kevin Givens. He's a free agent and better than Kinlaw. They're going to have to make some decisions there. They really are. And Kevin Givens is a good player. I think you can bring him back. I think this will be an opportunity where he's showing out, but they'll probably have an opportunity to get him down, bring his money in more financially. He's feasible, but he's playing well. I think that's good news for the 49ers. A longtime Niners fan says, got on Coach Ant. Let's go Niners. What's up, long time? How's it going? Always great to have you in chat. David Campbell says, when Jimmy Ward gets back, do you think they might use 3 safety look more? They could. They definitely could use 3 safety looks because they could easily put Jimmy Ward in the slot. I mean, he can do lots of things there. So, yeah, I think that's a possibility, putting him in those type of situations, and then let Gibson kind of, play in the box with Talno Hufanga, let Hufanga flow around. Why not? But you have the injury to Tarvarius Moore right now, so that would make it a little bit of an easier decision, even though Moore is huge for the 49ers in special teams. So, yeah, and long time is saying Hufanga, all pro. He's right now he's playing close to that level. It is ridiculous how good he's playing, and props to anyone that saw it coming. I was worried about his coverage. I'm gonna keep it honest. I was worried about his coverage, but he's done a really good job, and I'm very happy to see that for sure. SL says, my boy's a Raider fan. He thinks Rams suck, but I'll like to see what happens when the Raiders play the Rams. The Rams don't suck. Now, the Rams are dealing with some injuries, of course. The Rams have had, some things happen to them, and their offensive line is not great right now. But by no means do the Rams suck. When you got players like Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey, you don't suck. And Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford can go out there and still get it done. We'll see what happens if they end up getting Odell Beckham Jr. to come back in. But the real problem is going to be the run game. If they can't get the run game going, it's going to be an issue. But no, they don't suck. The Raiders, they beat the Broncos, so good ups to them. But, they got a lot of work to do still. Daly says, Steve Patterson out for a while for the Falcons. That's right. Cordero Patterson did get hurt. He had surgery on his knee, so he won't be somebody the Niners have to worry about next week. That's a big loss for them. Something to remember. He's a guy that can do it all and has kind of given Kyle Fitz in the past, but one less weapon for them to be able to use. Traffic says 49ers going to be on that revenge time for the Chiefs. That's going to be an exciting one. You got the high-powered offense, Patrick Mahomes, who's exciting, extending plays, going against this 49ers defense. Robert Davis says, Huff for Pro Bowl. I book it. I love it. I hope it happens, Robert. I really do. I think if Huff can continue this performance, he'll deserve it. And I think he will be in the talk for All Pro if he continues at the level that he's playing right now. So, yeah, that would be great if that would happen. WTM says, what do you think about special teams tonight? I thought special teams was hit and miss. Here's why. Number one, Ray McLeod put the ball on the ground. You can never put the ball on the ground. But I did like the fact that Ray McLeod made up for it by having a nice return on the next drive. But then you also had the Robbie Gould missed a field goal. I didn't think Mitch Wisnowski punted great today. This is the first time I thought Wisnowski didn't look the best. Now, could it have been strategic so that way Powell didn't have opportunities to return? Yes. I'm curious what happens there, but I thought special teams wasn't the best area on the team today, but they had such a great performance last week. I want to see what they do next week against Carolina. Maybe it was circumstance, but you can't put the ball on the ground, so whenever that happens, you got to be a little bit worried about it. Mr. Court says, when you do an O-line breakdown, Banks, my offensive breakout player, is going to grade out the best. I'm excited to watch that for sure. I want to see what Banks does. P. Murr says, Hufanga just makes plays. I've been saying it since last year. You're right. He finds the football. He makes plays. You need playmakers on your team, and he's one of them. And that's nice to have. You need guys that can change the game in an instant, and Hufanga's being one of those guys. Robert Davis says, Rams are top-heavy, and injuries are going to be their downfall. I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. What's up, Paul? Welcome to chat. Always good to see you in here, Paul. I hope you're having a good one, enjoying the win. Mr. Corey says, would love to say I seen Hufanga coming. I didn't and wanted Tart back. I didn't see Hufanga coming. Now, what I will say is once we got to training camp and I saw Hufanga play, I was like, okay, like Hufanga looks good. Like that's when I first was like, okay, Hufanga looks good. I had a little bit of question marks about his coverage, but not his playmaking ability. But he has looked fantastic. I have been really, really enjoying it. Yeah, it's been a fun one. And Brad says, I just love that the defense keeps shoving the preseason prediction of PFF, saying our D would only be middle of the road defense. Yeah, it's not a middle of the road. It's one of the best in the league, if not the best. I think it's the best. I think top to bottom, just get it done. Injuries don't mean anything. Oh, we lose Azeez Al-Shire, we'll get by. And I mean, there probably wasn't very much opportunity for Flanagan Fowles to get on the field anyways. The Rams didn't run, a lot of base personnel to cause you to have your base 4-3 in there. So There wasn't really anything. And Virgil, what's up, Virgil? How's it going? It says, love your commentary, but what happened to your boy? My boy Alex, I think that's who you're talking about. He started a new job at the beginning of August, and he's getting married on the day of the Chiefs game. So between everything going on, he just didn't have time to continue recording, so he hasn't recorded in a while. So that's why Alex hasn't been on. Paul's on here talking with Jess. Robert says Ray McLeod scares me every time he returns the ball. Scary. And you know what's bad is I had those feelings through the first, like couple weeks, and then Ray was doing so good at securing the football and then getting positive yards. I thought last week against Denver he did a really good job, that I was starting to feel comfortable, like, oh, he fixed this thing. And then boom, ball on the ground, and now you're right. Now I'm gonna have those type of feelings whenever he carries the ball. Not excited about it. Marvin Rose says, you mean that flag football game, aka Pro Bowl? Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like that already. Yeah. But yeah. Golden Dragon says, I ran 4.3 playing flag football. Ooh, that's some speed right there. Gotta love that. WTM says, we had 17-point offense tonight. What ways do you think we can have a 24-point offense on average? I think, there were opportunities where they missed plays. I mean, they easily could have had a 24-point offense if, they were able to convert on that touchdown where Jimmy got the pass to George Kittle. Now, it didn't work out, but I think that it's one of those things that they have the ability to do so. They scored 27 against Seattle. I think the more comfortable Jimmy gets being back in this offense, playing quarterback, the more comfortable Kyle gets with calling an offense led by Jimmy Garoppolo and what his skill set is. He'll kind of change overall how they handle things, because Trey and Deebo Samuel together ran the offense one way. Jimmy with Deebo Samuel, it's going to be different. The Deebo package is different. A lot of things that Jimmy does, are different than Trey. Trey was very successful outside the numbers and vertically. Jimmy Garoppolo is inside the numbers and, kind of within that 20-yard range. Now, he has been willing to take more shots, but I've seen Kyle really getting it going. They did hit some plays outside the numbers. He had the one to Deebo Samuel. That was nice. The one to Kyle Juszczyk where he got yardage. Those were good plays. And I think you're going to see Jimmy go outside the numbers more just to take advantage of what defenses are showing him. But, yeah. SL says, Niners always play Panthers tough. I hope we win by 2 touchdowns. I'm with you. I think that would make that East Coast swing a lot easier if they walk away with a big win against the Panthers to start. Daly says, Ant, thoughts on the use of Kittle? I think what they were doing early was the Rams were very dedicated to making sure George Kittle didn't have the matchups that you wanted early in the football game. And I think Kyle Shanahan always planned to kind of start using George Kittle as the defense had to adjust to Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings. That's when you can use George Kittle. And that's kind of what happened. Now, I think that as the season goes, you're going to see games that he's going to be a featured, weapon. But I mean, if he would have made that play in the end zone, we would be talking about, George Kittle having a pretty good performance overall. But he was fantastic in blocking again. I think there's just going to be times that George Kittle's, he's going to make plays and then still got to get healthy too. I don't think he's all the way back yet. I think that they know that, and they've got to kind of use some different guys to help as well. Mr. Core says, hate to say it, but the missed field goal by Gold was poetic justice for the Rams because Banks got away with a face mask before that. He did, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not really huge on that. I mean, even with a face mask, it would have made it a 57-yard field goal. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know, but I get what you're saying. Robert says PFF pretty fake football analysis. What's up, Sac Francisco? How's it going, John? How about Jimmy Ward and Verrett coming back in the lineup? Yeah, that's going to be fun. I mean, they're going to open their window next week, probably. It's the first time that they're allowed to do so. You could also see Curtis Robinson's window open up as well. And then they have 3 weeks of practice, so they don't have to bring them back for Carolina or Atlanta. And you might see them for Kansas City. We'll see. We'll see exactly how they do that. They could also wait all the way until before the next Rams game, but they're gonna show some things. I'm sure we're gonna start hearing these guys. Really appreciate it. SL says, forget PFF. They have the worst point of view in terms of rankings. Yeah, I think you kind of have to just take it, kind of point by point as it goes. But some of it's good, some of it's not. 49ers Fogies, what's up, Gary? Says, it was great to have Donald's daddy back for the game. Always nice to see Brunskill out there, and I thought Brunskill did pretty good in his first matchup. Curious to see what his reps look like overall. So that'll be fun. And Mr. Course says Garoppolo also didn't see Juice wide open for a touchdown. Could have been 41-6 or 31-6. Now, I will say this, Mr. Corey. When I saw that play, I saw Troy Aikman going on, and I recognized it pre-snap that Kyle Juszczyk was going to be open. I think there should have been an alert because of the yardage that Kyle Juszczyk should have broke that off early and caught the ball and just, made the first down. He went deep. Now, I don't think that safety actually breaks until that ball is being thrown, to Deebo Samuel. So I would like to wait until we get to the all-22 to completely say Jimmy missed on Juice. But if it is true, I will definitely tell you that you were right, because I couldn't tell for sure on the film, the angle that they were showing. But I think that they actually should have had an alert to where Juszczyk just broke it off right there. Brad Jones says, we've opened up against the Panthers before tonight's game with a 4.5 favorites. How high does that margin jump after tonight's game? I bet you it gets close to 10, 9.5 maybe. SL gives Jimmy a B+. I like that. Virgil says, at Steed was the last one off the line before he got pulled. Oh, Armstead was the last one. I do remember that play, actually. He looked slow, so you're right. As Shylock comes through with you, see that clutchness. Obviously talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm sure, right, Shylock? Love that you came in. Brad says, also on the Kittle, no TD. I thought he missed Ayuk. He could have. I'll have to go back and watch that again. So, maybe he is missing guys. It's possible. Mike Thompson said Juice needs more touches. I think you're right. It was nice seeing him get involved, having a catch, having a run. I would love to see more of that. We've been calling for that for a couple years. So, yeah. John says, I love the new Juice first down celebration. Yeah, I'm with you. Virgil says, Armstead was last off the line when he got pulled. I don't think he's healed yet. I don't think he is either. I think it's going to be an ongoing thing. So hopefully, he's able to continue to help. Right now, he's just helping to stop the run. 49er Gal says, Garoppolo got something to prove to Carolina, too. Yeah, I mean, if you passed on me, right? I mean, that could be enough for Jimmy to get kind of excited. Like, hey, you pass on me, see what happens. Mr. Corey says, Armstead needs to sit out against the Panthers and Falcons, have him healthy for Chiefs. They might have to make a move. I mean, they don't have enough defensive tackles. I'm not sure I want to see Hicks up there. So they might need to make a move and bring someone in. They did free up some money, with the Trent Williams deal. I'm sure they didn't want to use it on another player, but they might have to because their defense is just that good. Shylock says, Chef Jimmy cooked up a dub. I love that. JLE says, couldn't watch Troy for a quarter. Had to go to the Manning show for the rest of the game. How was the Manning show, JLE? Because, originally I had it on there, but I don't think I can watch a live game of the 49ers with the Mannings, interviewing people the whole time and stuff. But I was curious how that went. Shylock says, all he does is win. I mean, he won tonight. He helped the team win. That's important. Brad Jones says, Kyle seems determined to make Mason earn his carries. Yeah, I mean, and that was the thing, right? Troy Aikman said about the running backs that he doesn't feel confident with the other guys he has. Marlon Mack had a big special teams play for the Niners, recovering that fumble by Ray McLeod. But I seen him on the exercise bike later. Tevin Coleman got in on a third down. I saw that. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Just a second, guys. Taking care of something real quick. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think that he feels confident with this run game the way that Jimmy Garoppolo needs the run game to look. I think having the big physical guys with Trey Lance at quarterback, it works. But with Jimmy Garoppolo, you need a different style. You need to be able to move it with the outside zone. That way you can get those boot looks and things. Those are good for Jimmy. So we'll see. Brad says Kyle seems determined to make. Oh yeah, that's what he said earlier. Sorry about that. Mr. Course says trade for Defoe. I'm sure he wants out of Indy. I'm sure he wants out, but there's no way you could afford trading for him. His salary's huge. What you'd have to give up. It's a pipe dream. I would love it, but Brad Jones says I saw Kinlaw's warm up and he looked very. Probably be surprised if he plays the next 2 games. That's not good. Yeah, but I mean, now that Kinlaw's, it's the knee that he had surgery on. I'm concerned about it too. Marvin says that would be a good, Mr. Corey, but do you really think that Indy would go for it? No, they wouldn't. Shylock says, I hate the Mannings. I hated them when they played. I hate them now. So funny. And they were funny, but they do distract you from the game at times. That's what I was kind of worried. That's what I was worried about. So that's one of the reasons I didn't watch it on there, because I was like, man, these guys are gonna We're going to have some struggles with, the Mannings talking and interviewing people and they're just screwing things up. I can't do it. I have to stay like focused when I'm watching the game. I'm trying to watch everything that happens all the time. It's tough. Mr. Corey says Jordan Mason gets 7 yards against a good defense and it's never heard from again. He didn't get a single carry. I thought he was going to get more carries than Deebo Samuel in this game. He didn't get a single carry. It's wild. Tevin Coleman didn't get the ball either. It was all Jeff Wilson Jr. It was all Jeff Wilson Jr. and it was all Deebo Samuel. They're the ones who got the carries in this football game. It's crazy. But yeah. Golden Dragon with Omaha chest bump. I love that. Well done. When it comes to the Mannings, right? That's all you think of. Omaha. I love their stuff that they did, like some of their comedy stuff they did on SNL and stuff, but not really. Watching other teams play on ESPN, yeah, I'll watch it. Watching my team, absolutely not. So I can't do it. It's just I can't get with it. But I would say, thanks everyone for watching the game reaction show. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have to go. It's already late. I gotta get some stuff done and everything. But I really appreciate everyone for hopping on. Looking forward to all the great week of content. There's gonna be lots of stuff coming out. We're already to Tuesday, so we're gonna jam pack it all in there for you guys. Let me know exactly what you guys think of everything that comes out, and then we'll have a good conversation all week. Let me see. I saw something come in from SL. Let's see what it said. Yo, Ant, where does the rivalry stack up with the Rams compared to the Seahawks? I think when you go back to like some of the early, like the 80s and stuff, that's where a lot of the Rams rivalry comes from, is a lot of that. So there's a lot of the older 49ers remember the Rams rivalry from that. I know that's where I got my dislike for the Rams. The Seahawks one came along later on, and that's definitely a tough one too. So yeah, we're first place in the division. Everyone enjoy your night. I hope you guys all have a good one. I was excited to come and talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later this week. Of course, it's going to be a good one. You guys all stay safe, and remember the right way is always the 49ers way.